are live for Empire State of Baseball on this Monday, April the 20th, 2026. Presented by Diamond Sports Media, live on X and YouTube, and as always, powered by StreamYard. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back on this 420. And I tell you what,
some of us are back, Rich.
Some of us are back. Yankees are riding high. Mets, I don't even know what to say. I mean, look, they won a game since the last time we went live. It was the next day since our last episode. Haven't won a game since. Corey, Joe, look, we're going to get into it because we have an Empire Express to get into. But Corey and Joe, in a few short, simple words,
Joe, are you capable of doing this?
Corey, what do you...
A few words.
Truthfully, I'm just thankful that between your bachelor party and then being on the West Coast, I haven't actually had to watch the full games. And then being in Chicago at 2:00 in the afternoon while I'm working, I really haven't got to watch them. So it's been a miserable 11 games, but I've watched them at full length, about like 3 of them. So I guess that's the silver lining in the situation. But it's like, this same old Mets.
I know. Oh man, I right now it's almost the point of anger for me is gone. Like you're not going to get a Frank the Tank rant out of me. It's almost like the point where it's like an inverse curve where, eventually it starts to shift back in the other direction and it starts to get entertaining. Like, how far is this going to go? 15, 20, 25, and a major league record, team record? Who knows?
I'm trying. Do we care how I feel? Because I took the Mets second overall in our team's draft, and my Mets are just really letting me down. I just think we're not considering my feelings. Yep. And
I didn't even think about this. This shit's on Tom. Tom, like everybody expected, Tom fucked the Mets. Tom fucked the Mets.
I had faith. I had faith in the plan. I had faith in the blow up and then the glow up and now it's I'm gonna throw up. That's where I'm at now.
I've thought about this because as a Jet fan, I sit there and say the Jets aren't winning until Namath dies, right? Like because he cursed them, he sold his soul. We know that he's the Jets never but the problem is who's got to die on the Met end for the Mets to win something. And
entire broadcast booth.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's Tom now. Like, I don't know who cursed them. This has been going on before.
It wasn't Dan House, and I know that for sure. WrestleMania.
What is it going to take? The franchise is cursed. They're cursed.
Yep,
it's cursed. It's not cursed though. The good friends over at Roback. Terrible transition. I'm just going to throw it to Tom to talk fucking Roback. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, throw it to me, especially in this like what I don't know what season this currently is. It is so cold. It's cold today. It was warm.
Spring.
But the good thing is Roback has you covered. So if you with the layers, we can see Joe rocking the Azalea collection, the quarter zip, real nice for this time of year. Listen, on like Wednesday or Thursday, it might be like 70. So it's polo season. And then it might rain. So it might be like heavy hoodie season. And Roback got you covered with all those different options. They're currently running a bunch of things for their Mother's Day collection. And I bring that up a lot on the show. They have a really extensive women's collection. Mother's Day is coming up. So for the mom in your life, whether it be your mom or possibly, the missus, looking at our chat, probably not a lot of that going on. But if you do have a woman special in your life, head over to roback.com. Check out some of their comfy stuff they got going on there. That's RHOBACK.com. Promo code TWASPL15. Get yourself 15% off your first order.
Side note, for whatever reason, our X feed is down. I don't know why the broadcast isn't getting picked up over there. So I'll try to work through it in the beginning part of the show. But listen, if you're over here on YouTube, tell your buddies over on X to join us on YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
So come on over to YouTube. It's the preferred way to listen regardless. And just for the tentative, I have Instagram up and running. So Instagram, we actually are live right now. So I don't know what's going on with X. We're figuring it out.
I have an update that I'm just going to assume Google's AI is correct. The longest Jets losing streak is 12 consecutive games. So the Mets could tie the Jets tomorrow for the longest losing streak in Joe's life.
Look at that. And the Mets' lifetime is 17. So we need one more to tie the Jets. And we need to get to 17 to tie the Mets all-time record.
Let's get to your comments here before I even get into the Roback rundown. Let's do that first. Big Slick in the building says, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, that guy, Tom, with the sunglasses, doesn't know ball at all. Tom?
I mean, the most desperate, thirsty dude looking for a response. It's frankly, it's sad. I would say it's unbecoming, but let's be honest, it's probably about what we expect out of Big Slick. I hope you're happy because you clearly see him like a sad little boy.
Hitman's in the building. We actually ran into Hitman live in living color last week in Tampa Bay outside Tropicana Field. So it was Corey Joe. It was really nice to meet one of our biggest supporters, subscriber of the year.
It was great. I loved it. It was a great time. We grabbed a couple of drinks beforehand outside the stadium. Then we went inside, grabbed a couple more drinks. We had a great time down there. It was a good crew, and it was awesome to see Hitman in the wild. I hope to see more of you in the wild too. Whether it's this year, maybe a game, different events, whatever it might be. I would absolutely love to see more of you in the wild as well.
I will say, not only did Tom screw the Mets, I think Joe did too by wearing a Met jersey to a Tampa Bay Rays New York Yankees game.
There is nothing more, frankly, embarrassing, and this goes across all fandoms. If you're going to a different game and you wear if you're going to a Rays Yankees game and you wear a full Mets stuff, you're an absolute loser. You are. And you know what? If you are a Yankee fan who goes to a Mets Phillies game in Yankee stuff, you're an absolute loser. It's the most desperate look at me attention I've ever seen. I expect it from Joe, and it's gross. It is
more
baseball to do it.
Stuff to a baseball game.
What's the problem? Listen, Joe, I've been loser mentality.
I didn't wear red. I wasn't trying to troll both fans. I didn't wear a Red Sox jersey. I wore a random jersey, and
hold on a second. It wasn't a random jersey. He wore a Michael Conforto jersey. Corey Favs, what did Michael Conforto do to the Mets this past weekend as a member of the Chicago Cubs? Just want to throw that out there, too.
He hit the tying double. He blew up the game for the Mets. Of course it would happen. Of course it would be Michael Conforto who blew it up for the Mets yesterday. I thought they were going to get a win. I didn't think
about that until today.
Jesus Christ,
it's just
the rest about it.
It's like probably the lamest thing I think you could do. I've been to Citi Field for games. Didn't wear Yankee stuff. Just wore like a regular T-shirt and a regular like a Team USA.
You're going to a baseball game. Don't you want to be baseball? Don't you want to be?
No,
just wear a regular shirt.
I remember going to a Met game with Joe all the way back in the day. It was a Matt Harvey day. You know what I wore? I wore a Batman shirt. Wore a fucking Batman shirt. Arguably that's in support of Harvey, who was playing the Blue Jays at the time. Why would I root for the Blue Jays?
I wore a Mets jersey, and the starter of the game was Steven Matz, who was a Met.
You could have gotten away with it possibly if you wore a Matz jersey, a Steven Matz jersey. But it's whenever I see it, I don't care.
Honest,
all you're doing it for is to get attention, and
let's be honest. Nobody in their right mind owns a Steven Matz jersey.
I don't know. Maybe some people do.
Nobody.
It's just it is probably one of the saddest things you could do at a sporting event. Is like, hey, I'm going to.
Why there are people there with Julio Rodriguez jersey? There was a people from Seattle with the Julio Rodriguez,
and they were lost.
A loser.
And they were lost.
People from Texas.
Don't get me. Hold on a second.
And those
they were lost.
Losers.
Don't get me started on the kid in the Bieber jersey. Definitely don't get me started on the kid in the straw hat. That was 4 rows down. Who was he had a
McKay jersey. At least he was in the right church.
I don't know. Florida baseball fans. By the way, most fair weathered baseball fans I've ever seen in my entire life. It was a Yankees.
What was your? I know we have a lot to get into. What were your thoughts on the Trop?
But overhated. Overhated.
Yes, I agree.
And
I
we
agree.
might have caught it at its peak because
Well,
everything was freshly painted and stuff. And listen, it's a minor league baseball stadium, right? Like the way the concourse is built, you feel like you're a minor league baseball stadium or a hockey arena. So it's a different feel. But like I didn't find it offensive to sit there and watch a game.
No, me neither.
Like I, from what I had heard, that you are supposed to walk in and be offended that this building exists, and I didn't feel that. I felt it was I felt it was a minor league stadium.
It was adequate.
Yeah.
I would actually say this, and I've never been to the Coliseum, and it's a shame that I'm never going to get to go to the Coliseum now.
Is it?
I bet you the drop if we're going to have Tropicana 29 and Coliseum 30 that a lot of people have in their rankings, I bet you the drop between Trop to the Coliseum is significantly higher than the drop from whoever ranks 1 versus 2. I bet you that difference is monumental between 29 and 30 Trop versus Coliseum.
And I will say this. I think the concourse is severely outdated.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably my only complaint. I think otherwise, I think the ballpark is a fine ballpark. Very weird that they don't sit anybody in the upper deck. I think that's more because I think from what I remember, guys, when we were talking to the vendors, they were like, it was just more because of the view. They couldn't sit. Yep. They could barely catch where the ball is. You got catwalks and shit.
Is why they
can't sell the seats. And by the way, anytime there was a foul ball hit, I lost it.
That's the one negative is the ball in contrast with the roof when it goes up. You have no idea what it is.
You can't see it. All right, next rest of the comments here. Poor Joe says Jordan Tyler. Name That Yank. Rumor has it Tom only wears his glasses indoors. Well, shout out to Name That Yank. I did appear on his recent episode of Name That. Go check that out over his page. He is one of our DSM gems. So shout out to Name That Yank. Make sure to give him a follow and subscribe over on his page. Joe's made an appearance there. Phil from Shirley's made an appearance there. Keith's made an appearance there. And your boy made an appearance there. Had a fight with Ricky Keeler over Yankees Jeopardy this past weekend. So check out that episode on Mr. Name That's channel. Special shout out also to Sierra, who's also the Billy. I see no issue with fans wearing jerseys.
Thank you, Sierra.
For another game.
Sierra, you're better than that.
I hate to say it, folks. Tomorrow's edition of the Clubhouse has been canceled.
What's more offensive, wearing a jersey to a random player's games or wearing sunglasses indoors?
Wearing a jersey to another game.
The last part of it's pretty bad, too. And there's Ricky. I could see that hat maybe, but the jersey's a tough one. Jacob, Rich, can you confirm that Corey doesn't have a Frank the Tank rant in him? We'll find out in a few. Joe is that guy, says Mike Parr. So shout out to Jack Esposito in the building. Good to see Jack in here. All right, so for today's show, we finally get into our rundown. At the Empire Express, we have a returning ESP game called Defining Moment, and the New York Strike Exchange also makes his return. We'll see how well the guys did as Joe spilled something over there. Hopefully he's okay. I know he's not been okay. So Corey Favs, we'll throw it to you to touch on the New York Mets because, or should I say the New York Mets, because it's been a mess. It is certainly been a mess over there in Queens right now. There you see him down at 7-15. Not only the worst record in the NL East, but the worst record in all of baseball. But Corey Favs, I will say this. I still subscribe to what you have been saying for all these years. The first checkpoint in the Major League Baseball season is Memorial Day. And it's so hard to pick apart a team, to pick apart players well before that holiday weekend. So, Corey, are you still subscribed to that theory here in 2026?
Trying to take the emotional element away from the mental and logical element of the game. Because if I look purely from a logical standpoint, what you said is 100% correct. And I've said it before on a couple different spaces. I preached it on Shape Up last week. You know, how many times have we seen teams who looked like they had no shot end up winning the World Series? And we saw it in this division itself. The Braves, when they won in 2021, the Mets were first place in the beginning of July. Braves were under 500 in June. Braves won the World Series that year. Mets were under 500. Same thing with the Phillies. Year later, they fired Joe Girardi in May. That team was under 500. That team won the World Series. Look at the very own New York Metropolitans in
Well, they didn't win the
2024.
World Series.
Probably the best series we've had in a while, the best year we've had in a while for the Mets was 2024. The team was dead and buried in the middle of June, and they didn't go to the World Series, but they made it to Game 6 of the NLCS. So logistically, of course, Brewers last year, another example. The team was the worst team in Major League Baseball in April, and they made it to the playoffs. What's discouraging me about the Mets right now, I don't know what's up with this offense. People struggle. You're going to have some slumps. You're going to have a couple of guys slump at the same time. This is literally the entire offense. The entire offense. The only guy who's really hitting the ball is Francisco Alvarez, but he's not doing it when guys are on base. He's doing it when the bases are empty. And the only other guy was Luis Robert, but he's cooled off significantly. He had an absolutely red hot first couple of weeks. He might have been, I know we're going to get to this New York Strike Exchange a little later. He had a very good chance of being one of our bulls the first couple of weeks of the season. But we'll see if he even makes the list because he cooled off significantly. The whole team is slumping, and it is ugly. It's not, they're hitting weak ground balls. Whenever you have a guy on third base, they're hitting ground balls right to the shortstop, so they can't score the run, or they're striking out. It's a complete and utter mess, which makes me wonder. It's something with the organization as a whole, as opposed to an individual player or individual move that backfired. Something's up with this organization as a whole. I am concerned. I don't have an answer. There is no answer right now. Yeah, you're going to get Soto back. Granted, Soto was hitting 350 before, 344 if you want to be specific, before he went out. One player is not going to change this. The team itself has to do something. So, again, I'm trying not to be too irrational. I'm also kind of past the point of anger. Now it's kind of entertaining seeing how far this streak can go. But from a logistical standpoint, what you said is correct, Rich. We can get to Memorial Day. This team could be back at 500. 500 on Memorial Day. You're in a very good position to make the playoffs with this new roster, this new playoff configuration. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, if you look at the upcoming schedule, and Rich is here, he's in the background. But if you look at the upcoming schedule, the Mets by our show on May 4th could be above 500. I mean, they have 3 games with the Twins, 3 games with the Rockies. They got a set with the Nationals coming in, and then they go on the road, and I believe it's Colorado, LA, and then Arizona. So I mean, the Mets theoretically in the next 18 games have an opportunity to really go on a streak of their own in the opposite direction. The problem I'm having here is I don't know. I don't know what fixes this team. I'm hoping Soto coming back fixes it, right? Like I'm hoping Soto plugging into the middle of that lineup, generating traffic on the base pads like he does, and having a guy on base every few innings, an extra guy on base. Driving in runs that get on in front of them that we're not doing at the moment. I'm hoping he's the linchpin to start connecting the pieces of the offense because they're just not there. My frustration lies in the guy like Francisco Lindor. Lindor's hitting 203 or whatever he is. He's got 1 RBI on the year. At what point does this guy wake up? I know he's a slow starter, but like at some point he's got to wake up and say, I got to be that guy for us because there is nobody else. Polanco's an enigma because I think Polanco's a good player. Polanco's clearly been hampered by an Achilles injury and then now a wrist injury.
He should have been IL the first week of the year.
He should have been on the IL the first week of the season. We dragged him along and he was basically useless. So there's things that these players aren't that bad, that the offense, when it's healthy and connected, should produce, right? Like Lindor's not going to bat 130 most of the year.
Do you think there's something to the fact that they basically rebuilt the entire offense? Not the entire offense, but but all the guys that left and were not even, they chose not to bring back, and they chose to bring all these new guys in. Do you take any credence that it could be that, and maybe these guys need to connect still, or Is there anything there?
I mean, it's going to take a lineup time to meld and adjust, mold and meld and fuse together and figure out what kind of lineup they're going to be. I mean, we didn't really have much time in practice to have Mendy and Stearns constructed lineup in full practice. I mean, they had about 10 days before Soto got hurt. Yeah. So once Soto went down, you haven't seen what the lineup could be more than a week and a half. Yeah. So that I would say, yeah, that now that Soto's gone out, I'd say, yeah, I think there's a little something to that. The lineup wasn't really flushed out. It wasn't
like if this was so. If let's just say this was last year, and it's there's still Pete, there's still Nimmo. Let's say Soto's still hurt, but it's still basically what you guys had last year. McNeil, is this team where they are today, if that's the case? Or do you think all of that turnover is really showing itself here, and maybe the Soto injury is just kind of throwing gas on that fire?
I would say if you take last year's core minus Soto with the injury, I don't think they're going to be in the position where the Braves are right now, but they're going to be in a lot better spot than where we are right now. I would say, maybe you're just under 500 as opposed to 7 under. They would have squeaked out probably a couple of games, like a game like yesterday. The turning point in that game yesterday, a guy on third, they had a leadoff double. Next guy advances him over. You have a guy on third, 1 out. Who's coming up? One of the guys was Francisco Lindor, and I think the other one was Torrance. And Torrance has been pretty good. Don't get me wrong, he's not a star, he's not a starter, but he's been good. And then Francisco Lindor, your best guy. Actually, no, I take that back. I think it was Bo Bichette and Lindor, because Lindor, they changed the lineup, so even worse. I do think it'll be a little better. To your point also, Tom, it was also not only a completely different team, but a WBC year. So you had a lot of people out with the WBC, and by the time they come back, there's only, like a week or so before the season. So it's kind of like a mixture of things. I don't know what the problem is, but these guys, even in spring, they looked good. Again, I know spring training's different. You're facing a lot of minor league pitchers, but the Mets offense right now are making guys with 8 ERAs look like Greg Maddux. Brett Beatty had a phenomenal spring. Carson Bench, phenomenal spring. Those guys are now non-existent in the lineup. Beatty had a great first week. He completely collapsed. So I don't know what the deal is. I do think if they had the old core, it'd be a little better. But the only one in the old core really killing it right now is Nimmo. I mean, Nimmo is as hot of a start as you could have in Major League Baseball, outside of Rice and Judge, obviously. But Alonso's hasn't been killing it. McNeil's been so we'll see.
Yeah, right. This is more. I just think this is more. Soto got hurt because they were fine when Soto was healthy. They didn't have this issue. And then Polanco's been an absolute zero because he's been hurt. And instead of IL in them, and remember, these guys are supposed to be 2 and 5 in your lineup, 3 and 5, however you wanted to construct it. And they have done absolutely nothing on top of the fact that Lindor has done absolutely nothing. So basically the 3 guys you expected to be 3 of your 4 best hitters, including Bichette, have given you absolutely zero this year. You're not going to win games.
I just think there's something to the fact that you brought in all these new guys, and we see it all over. I know, Corey, you said Nimmo's having a good start, but you see guys, new place. It takes some time getting used to everything. But then the guys who are already here, they have a whole new, they're basically new guys too, because it's all new guys around them. So even like a Lindor who's been here for 6, 7 years, he's looking around. He's like, I don't know half these guys. Like, I might know them a little bit, but these aren't like my guys. And I wonder, the talent's there. You wonder if it's just going to catch up later, and maybe by, Memorial Day, it's looking better. But it seems like a bit of a cautionary tale of like, just blowing it all up maybe it's not the best.
You've
way
also
to go
heard the
about
term.
it.
I mean, we've also heard the term like April's kind of seen as extended spring training. It's another. It's a way to kind of see how these guys mesh in a new environment, how they mesh together, and maybe there's credence to what you're saying here, Tom. Maybe this is going to take them to just rip off, a split that, okay, this is what's going to get them going. Now they're starting to click on all cylinders. And now we can see a better brand of baseball there for the New York Mets. A couple things I can ride on. Look, nobody wants to talk about any positives coming out an 11-game losing streak, which is historic. But hey, it's an 11-game losing streak that's happening in April and not happening in September. 11-game losing streak that happens in September ends your season typically. But here's one thing I do want to mention. It's your upcoming schedule. And in the graphic here, I know, look, it mentions
back.
What?
The schedule.
Yeah. What about
it? Joe went over this.
Oh, he already went over this. Okay. Yeah. My apologies. Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest thing, so I'll just add to that. So obviously knowing what the schedule is going to be, if the New York Mets aren't taking advantage, because on paper, they should be shredding these teams. New York Mets doesn't take advantage of the schedule. You're not even coming out with a winning record on the other side. Yeah. I'm sorry. Carlos Mendoza's got to be out of a job. And I know it's extreme. It's especially this early. Yeah, Mendoza was the manager behind the team last year, one of the highest payrolls in baseball. They make the playoffs. Yep. Now he's leading his team to I'm sorry, a below mediocre start to the season. Here, you know what team did not care and cut bait with their manager relatively early last season after back-to-back playoff appearances, after being in the AL East mix for multiple years? Brandon Hyde of the Orioles. The Orioles cut bait with Hyde last year on May 17th when the team started off 15-28. I can't think that a team like the New York Mets is going to sit around and say, okay, this is acceptable. We'll be fine with our manager. No, I'm sorry. If the problems are running rampant throughout the clubhouse, it's got to start with your manager. Your manager's got to be out of a job. And I do my best to blame the players as much as I can, but for this long, I don't know if I can get behind Mendy here.
Here's the jumping off point, right? The Mets have a 9-game homestand against Minnesota, Colorado, and Washington. Unless they go 1-8, Mendoza's not going anywhere, right? Like if you go 1-8, Mendoza ain't getting on the road to LA. Then you got the Angels, Colorado, and Arizona as your road trip, a 9-game road trip. If you come back on May the 12th and the Mets are still 7 games under 500, Mendoza is not managing on May the 12th because you got 3 games against Detroit. And then who comes to town? You got the Yankees. And the Mets are not going to play. Is that Memorial Day weekend?
No, it's not. May 15th, 16th, 17th, right? I think.
Yeah, it's a late Memorial Day.
15th, 16th, 17th of May. Yep. So that's Memorial. Is that Memorial Day?
No.
Memorial
Day's
got one more week.
Mother's Day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, it's Mother's Day before that.
Whatever.
And then weird year. Happening on the
Mendoza is not managing against the Yankees if the Mets are 7 games.
That's the point.
I think this is what I say.
And let the stadium be filled with Yankee fans, which it will. The Yankee fan will outnumber the Met fan 5-1 if they're 7 games under 500, and let Mendoza get booed and jeered into the frickin' subway station in the middle of the 5th inning. They're not going to do that. So if the Mets are 7 games under 500 after they come back from Arizona and go to Detroit, probably after to face Skubal, he is not under any circumstances managing the Mets if they are 7 games under 500 on May the 10th. It's not happening.
And look, and here's the other thing too, and I'll throw this out there, and then we'll flip over to the Yankee side real quick. When you let go your manager this early, it doesn't mean it's a death sentence for your team. It could actually end up being the best decision for your team. Look what happened with the Phillies years ago with letting go Joe Girardi and bringing Robbie Thompson midway through the season. People thought the Phillies were done for that year. Phillies made a run. They got into the playoffs with Rob Thompson at the helm. So it's not a death sentence. You might just need that different voice to lead your clubhouse. And I guess at this point, look, if it came down to it, maybe Kai Correa is going to be that voice. I know you guys talked about it at length on Shape Up this past Thursday. You guys talked about the idea of Carlos Beltran. You guys talked about the idea of Joe Girardi. So those will be an interesting conversation, but I still think we're about a month away from really having a more fluid conversation around Mendy. But right now, the Mets just have to get right, let alone keep the manager's job. Just take a series. Take series. Let's see this team get right back in the mix. Tom, you look like you had a thought. I don't know.
We need it. We need it from our boys.
Yep, absolutely. We need it for Tom's New York Mets. Tom's New York Mets. Not Joe, not Corey's. Tom's New York Mets. All right, let's flip it over. Well, let's flip it over to and Corey says here the 18-game stretch. Mets have gone 12-6, still leaves them 2 under, but at least the ship is right. Yes, absolutely. So, and I don't know why I read your own comment. You're here. You could have did that yourself. Well, let's get into it. With the New York Yankees side of the house, a little bit better. But look, hey, it's 5 of 7 games, so definitely a better split here this time, Tom. I look at a little bit bigger picture. Still, if you take, the last few series, it's not great when you take the overall 3 weeks, but at least it is a turn to the right direction with the Yankees. And I always say, a lot of people get on the lack of offense here in certain aspects. But I always say it, Tom, when the Yankees get into those ruts, it has a lot to do with the fact that they're just not getting adequate starting pitching. And you saw it kind of in the middle of their 2-7 stretch that they had. I think that's right. 2-7 stretch out of those 9 games. A lot of games that were kind of lost in the first few innings, whether it be Luis Gil not being able to get out of his own way. Ryan Weathers had a fantastic start this past weekend, but prior to that, he started off the game giving up 3 homers in a row to the Angels. When the Yankees have their starting pitching right, I'll say it this way, like the Yankees, a bad starting pitcher for the Yankees is going to lose a lot more games than the bad starting lineup. So when they have everything righted with the pitching end, usually of course corrects itself from the offensive. Luckily, the Yankees ran into the Royals, who they typically beat up on. So your thoughts on the New York Yankees team of late?
Nice to be on a 4-game winning streak. This could have been a very sad episode. Had that not happened, we could just been seeing who's the sadder group in this room. But yeah, to your point, the starting pitching has been really good. Even a Ryan Weathers, he's someone we're not counting on him to be the stalwart of the ace of our staff. He's someone who we're projecting to get kicked to the bullpen. So I'm not going to get too upset about maybe some bad starts that he has, but Max Fried's been good. He had a bad start in there, but he's been good. Cam Schlittler has been incredible. Will Warren has also been pretty good.
Really good. Really good.
Heel, again, not what you want to see, but with Cole and Rodon coming back at some point, that's another candidate to get kicked to the bullpen. I almost could take the other way, because I think going into the season, we talked about, we had faith in the starting pitching. Maybe not the bullpen, but the starting pitching we had faith in. We knew we had reserves coming. We felt good. The offense, in some of those Angels games that they were scoring, then Mike Trout would hit another home run. But a lot of their struggles early in the season was because the bottom of their lineup was not hitting. The top 5 were hitting. The bottom 4 were just absolutely nothing. And we still have some of that. Jazz has been so bad.
Brutal.
Ryan McMahon, thank God he hit that homer. He's been so bad. Caballero is what he is. I'm not going to kill Caballero.
He's a clutch. I will say this. Look, the accounting stats aren't great. The guy's clutch. He's coming through in some big moments. He's extending at bats. He's stealing big bags. Even though Caballero was overall, his back of the baseball card numbers don't look great, he's been a clutch player and a very valuable asset to have at the end of the game.
Caballero is a winning player. He's not a winning player as a starter, but he's a very, very valuable bench piece kind of a guy. Now the problem is he's going to be replaced by Anthony Volpe, who is Anthony Volpe. But let's not think about Anthony Volpe right now. And then Austin Wells offensively has been bad too. So they're really being carried by Grisham waking up some. Ben Rice, obviously, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton started hot, but he's been kind of struggling as of late. But they're getting the kind of the big hit when they need them. I do think we still need to see better overall team offense. We need some more contributions from the bottom of the lineup, because you can't. Ben Rice is going to hit a home run every day. At some point you need some other guys to do it for you. And I wonder how long of a leash some of those other guys have it, or what the even options are, because Ryan McMahon has been so bad.
I will say this though, and McMahon's been terrible. At this point, never Rosario should be your starting third baseman. I don't care if he's Friday's game. Look, when it comes to Ben Rice, I will say this. This is not a knock to Cody Bellinger. Love Cody Bellinger, still contributing in a big way in 2026. For the Yankees' sake, they've needed that guy either behind Judge or in front of Judge, depending on where you want to profile him in the lineup, that can be that left-handed complement. Now, he's not Aaron Judge. We're not going there. Somebody made a comment on a Bronx Take that when I said he was the Robin to Judge's Batman, somebody said that Rice is Batman, and I fucking almost flipped out. And I think you guys can take a guess who I'm talking about.
Your people.
Rice has been incredible, and it's what the Yankees have needed out of a left-handed option, left-handed B to Judge's A since Juan Soto. He's been that great. He's been that great. On base percentage is extremely high. Working counts, doing the little things, getting the big run in, hitting the ball hard, hitting home runs. Now he's hitting lefties, and everybody was killing this guy, saying he can't hit lefties. He's got a better split against lefties and righties in 2026 thus far. He's been awesome. Awesome.
You're right. And I'll tell you what.
I thought there was another point there. You kind of stopped there in the middle of the sentence, Rich. I thought you first.
I know.
But listen, let me tell you too, because
Rich blacked out.
As a very, very proud Ben Rice owner in fantasy baseball, dude's got to play every day. The dude's got to play every day. And let me tell you what, there was one offseason move that didn't happen that a lot of fans on my side of town were screaming about. And I wish it happened for both teams. Paul Goldschmidt should have been a New York Met, not a New York Yankee. The Mets need guys who actually could play the positions you bring them in. The Mets could use a little bit of a veteran leader who could field his position primely. That's Goldschmidt, nice veteran leader for the team, and be a rock at first base. And the Yankees just need to let Ben Rice play every day and stop platooning with Goldschmidt at all. You've got to play every day.
I can't see. I could not see Paul Goldschmidt fitting. I know they're losing. I couldn't see him fitting into that Mets clubhouse. That Mets clubhouse seems like such a chaotic mess. I think Paul Goldschmidt, he'd be like, who do I talk to here? Like, who's my friend in this clubhouse? Because I don't know.
Yeah, and it's gonna. I know you said let's not mention Anthony Volpe. It will be a decent conversation over the next couple of weeks of who would be the odd man out. I mean, you're thinking, I guess it'd be Grichuk with Caballero now being more of your backup outfielder. So I think that's going to be, another.
Yeah, Caballero has to stay. He's a winning player. He can play all the positions. He can steal bases. Yeah, I mean, Grichuk hasn't been good. So yeah, I think he has to be the one.
Yeah,
you assume. Also baseball happens. So we'll see.
Right. We'll find out in a little bit. For the Yankees, they play the Red Sox and the Houston Astros coming up. So bit of a rivalry week if we consider the Astros still. I don't consider the Astros still a rival. I don't know about you, Tom. I'm kind of over that whole shit.
I mean, I still really don't like them. And I know they'll have. Are they playing in Houston or are they home?
It's in Houston.
Okay, if it was at home, let's be honest. They still have like the FL Tuve chance going on. Again, another just sad loser mentality is that when the Astros aren't even home or they're playing the Astros. But yeah, it's kind of the Astros have kind of run their course, I think, at this point.
I'll tell you what, Tom, speaking of Astros, I think you mentioned him once as a prediction. I definitely did one year, maybe last year. We picked the wrong year to not pick Yordan Alvarez as an MVP candidate. He's having a phenomenal start to the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think last year. I think I was gonna say I think I've thrown him out there before.
That was me last year. I had him in the MVP, winning that last year, but
so far I think I did too.
He's looked incredible.
Yeah, we lost him at one point in time.
Well, again,
he has never been healthy.
We knew his issue was just health related. Like he's a great. I mean, he's if you get him in the playoffs, like he's on the list of guys you don't not want to face under any circumstances with any pitcher on the mound.
Ricky, not a lot of the same guys are in Houston anymore. Kind of changes things. I mean, the core guys are still there. I mean, you still got Altuve and Correa, Jeremy Pena, sure.
Jordan is Bregman.
And Kyle Tucker. I mean,
Kyle Tucker,
those are big ones. They don't have any of their pitchers.
Altuve was the center of it, though. I mean,
Yeah.
he always was the center of it.
All right.
Altuve is the killer. Altuve killed you every time he got up.
We're gonna get into games in a little bit. Before we do that, Corey, let's talk about Instagram and TikTok.
If you want to go ahead and follow us on Instagram and TikTok, go ahead at Empire State of Baseball. We're Instagram's 8,000 and growing. TikTok, we're trying to really make a push there this year. That's at 150 plus and growing. You'll find archive segments, episode previews, meme reels, and more. Every now and then you can watch on Instagram. Today was we brought it back for a little bit there. So go ahead if you're on Instagram, switch over to YouTube. It's a better viewing experience. But go ahead on Instagram and TikTok at Empire State of Baseball for the follow.
You heard the man. Empire State of Baseball, same handle on both. So give us some love there. All right, let's get into it. First edition of Defining a Moment for the 2026 campaign. We're going to go through an historic moment in New York baseball history, one on the Mets side, one on the Yankee side. It's a fill-in-the-blank trivia. So we're going to be missing 3 facts to a moment, and it's up for the other hosts to fill out the blanks. We'll be doing not only a 3K system, but we'll also be going in order for guessing this one. And I actually built this out this way. So Corey is going to present his first. Tom's going to go first. Then I'm going to go second. And Joe's going to go third. And then when I go, Corey's going to go first. Joe's going to go second. Tom's going to go third. So we're trying to do it in order of people who didn't earn enough points. And then obviously, if you went first, you're not going to go first or second 2 times in a row.
2 questions. 1. Are we snaking the picks around, or are we only going in order for the first round?
No, we're not snaking anything, but we're going around. So if you're the last one, you make your guess, it's going to go back to the top. So
we're not just going to be free for all after the first.
No, it's not going to be a free for all. We're still going to go in order, right?
Seems very unfair.
Whatever. We'll figure it out after.
And then if you choose to not guess, is that just a wrong? Can you just kind of check swing and you can hold your guesses for later?
No.
I think you should be able to.
No. If you pass the K, bud. Come on.
What are we doing here?
I just think that would be fair.
Just ridiculous nonsense again. All right, Corey Favs, let's start with yours.
God, you're so bad.
Let's go ahead. It's I'm going to go back to 2019. We're talking about a lot of new Mets this year. There was a lot of new Mets on this team as well, a lot of debuts. So opening day for the New York Mets in 2019. The Mets would strike first that game on a solo home run hit by Blank against Nationals ace Max Scherzer. Later in the game, in the 8th inning, the Mets would add an insurance run as Robinson Cano hit an RBI single to drive in Blank. Edwin Diaz later came in for his Mets debut, striking out Nationals player Blank to secure the Mets victory and his first save as a New York Metropolitan in their 2-0 win.
All right, so Tom, you get the first crack at it.
I'll say he struck out Trey Turner.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
I believe I remember the strike.
Hold on. I go.
Sorry.
Before you go. So home run. Robinson Cano, let's say he drove in Lucas Duda.
Incorrect.
All right, now Joe.
I believe I remember the strikeout, and I believe it was Ryan Zimmerman.
It was not Ryan Zimmerman.
Really?
Ooh.
Damn.
Can you give us a hint somewhere?
Let's see. None of the players are Mets today for the Mets side. I'll give another hint in the next round.
Okay.
Active Mets. I guess it's how many active Mets still playing?
Solo home run was by Pete Alonso.
Incorrect, but that was also his debut game.
Ooh.
Game of debuts is what I try to go here.
Let's go solo home runs hit by Michael Conforto.
I love it considering what happened, but negative.
Damn.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Corey pulling some trickery. Let's go with Robinson Cano as the solo home run.
It was Robinson Cano with the solo home run.
That's wild
Son
work.
of a bitch.
That's wild work.
So Joe with 1.
Okay, now go. So now, and Rich's like poorly constructed game here. Corey, do we get another clue? Does Joe get another guess at the end because he only has 1 strike? So things Rich didn't think about because
no. Let's roll with this. We'll go back to the top since we're now in technically round 3. Corey does another hint, and if Joe gets the 2 right with the 2 he's got left, he could do it at the very end.
Okay.
Let's roll with that.
Yep. All right.
All right, so what are we doing?
Let's see.
Corey's going
to give 1 more hint, and then we're going to go back to the top.
One more hint. Well, obviously, they're both position players. That's easy to guess.
I'll ask this question,
yeah.
Corey.
Yeah.
So the Cano thing was a little tricky. These other 2 guys, is there a tricky one? Are these like household-ish names?
It's a name both of you would know, but one you would know a bit more. One player is still playing, one player is not.
Okay. I'll say 2019. I don't know if this is helping anyone, but 2019 Nats won the World Series, so it's a pretty notable team. I'll say he struck out Adam Eaton.
I like the guess, but it's not Adam Eaton.
Okay.
2019. I'll say he struck out Anthony Rendon.
It is not Rendon.
I'm paid out too. All right, so Joe, you have 2 to use.
It's not Rendon. It's not Adam Eaton. You said it's not a Met, so it's not Juan Soto.
I have a guess who that could be.
I think Harper was gone by this point.
I should have stuck to one of these.
They're both still playing.
No, I said one's playing, one's not.
62 in the building.
How many? I got 2 guesses.
You still have 2 Ks to use.
All right, let me go. RBI single driving in Brandon Nimmo.
It is not Nimmo.
Thank God. That was going to be
So far, Joe's gotten 1 point out of this. Corey might get 2 here. If Joe gets this next one
He was
incorrect.
top of the order, so it's not Nimmo. It's not Alonso. Be pinch hitter. Would be Dom Smith.
It's Dom Smith.
Wow. So Joe has a chance to sweep the board.
All right. So now we'll go back
to
the Nationals. 2019 Nationals.
Chat, what we thinking? Who?
I'm gonna go look at chat.
It's not Eaton.
The Jacob's guess in the chat is my guess for the record.
I like that guess too.
It's not Soto. It's not Zimmerman. Who's the other? I got two guesses.
Well, you can only use one.
I know, and I'm not sure.
Oh, well, no.
I'm not sure.
Tom, I don't care what you said.
I'm thinking the catcher or was he a first baseman?
Oh, geez.
Time or pinch hitter?
We might be getting a caught looking here.
You're gonna get a hee-haw.
Let's go with Victor Robles.
It is not Victor Robles. This was definitely the trickiest one, but he has appeared in multiple.
Guess. So Matt Adams.
My guess was Matt Adams. Yes.
I'll say my guess was
it was Matt Adams.
John.
I had one of the. It was either somebody who flipped the lineup.
Who this man?
It's Matt Adams. Multiple World Series appearances.
Yeah, I think they got a boo track here. All right, there you go. So Joe got 2 points out of it. Corey defends 1, so Corey gets a point back. We used to do the video to review, but A, we don't have that kind of time, and B, I don't get flagged by YouTube again. But there you go. Edwin Diaz's first save as a New York Met.
Now he's out.
And now he's out for the season. Oh, not out
Yeah.
for the season, but he's out for a while.
3 months.
He's going to be out
Yeah.
for a while. I mean, the loose bones thing, it's what Carlos Rodon
Yep.
kind of dealt with. So he's going to be out for some time there for the Dodgers. So there you go. Another super bullpen down the drains there and out in LA. Let's go to the Yankee side, though, of our question here. And I got today's question. Another relatively contemporary moment. It's very, very new. Let's go back only 3 years ago. In the ninth inning, just 1 out away from history. Domingo Germán would force a ground out from this Oakland A's player for the final out of the 24th perfect game in MLB history. Also, this would mark the blank perfect game in the history of the New York Yankees. On the offensive side, the Yankees would back Germán by scoring 11 runs, led by this New York Yankees hitter who collected 3 RBIs. The Yankees win by a final score of 11-0. Corey Favs, you're going to go first, then Joe, then Tom.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to. I don't know the number of perfect games. I remember doing the show at the time of this also.
Bad year for New York baseball.
I know. What a bad year for New York
Bad
baseball. Judge feels too easy. Then again, sometimes it's the easy one. So I'm gonna, instead of Judge, I'll say Stanton for RBI.
It is Giancarlo Stanton.
Ooh, okay.
This is
Good job.
God damn it.
Good job. All right, Joe, we go down to you for your next
Joe's
guess.
gonna
So you
get the
have
next one.
out of one of the next two, the Oakland player or the number of perfect games
Wait,
in
so
Yankees history.
here
Rich, you don't say a
I
fucking
would
word
say-
to his question.
are we count? Are
This is so
we counting? Are we counting playoff games? I guess you count playoff games. Let me go third perfect game in the Yankees history.
That is incorrect.
No, it's the 4th perfect game in Yankee history.
That is correct. Yes, it is the 4th perfect
Don
game.
Larson, David
in
Wells,
Yankees
David
history.
Cohn, Domingo.
All right, Corey, throw it right
Thank
back
God,
to the
Joe.
top.
Joe, I am shocked that you did not get that.
Corey,
I had who was it? I had Larson, Wells, and Germán.
Boom.
So
I
my hint is this is an active offensive player in baseball, and he is no longer with the A's.
Well, that's
Active player in baseball, no longer with the A's.
That is correct.
Who the hell was an Oakland A? An active still.
Larson, Cohn, Wells, and Germán, Joe, by the way.
Was it Matt Olson? Oh, no, he was
Larson,
a
Cohn. Yes, I missed Cohn.
It is not Matt Olson.
Okay. I forget when he became a Brave. It might have been that year.
At
he
this
became a
point, but
Brave.
that's not a bad
Joe?
guess. Still active.
So we're just missing the Oakland player.
The Oakland player, yep. The final out.
Perfect game. It would if it's a perfect game, it has to be the 9-hole hitter. Who's the 9-hole hitter?
Yeah, or a pinch
You
hitter.
said what did you say, Rich? Active player, but not on Oakland?
Active player, but no longer with the A's.
I was gonna guess Langoliers. Kemp.
It is not Tony Kemp.
Tony Kemp, yeah.
It is not Tony Kemp. Tom?
God. I don't think he'd be hitting. He also got. I don't know if he saw that. Laureano.
It is not Ramon Laureano, but I do like your line of thinking. He's an outfielder.
This guy
Okay.
who played on the A's. Jesus.
Corey.
I know this is where it gets tough. 9th hole hitting outfielder. A's.
See what the chat has to say.
I love your Tony Kemp guess, Joe. That was a good one.
Nobody got it right in the chat.
I only got one guess. He's not the 9-hole. I just thought. He wouldn't have been the 9-hole hitter.
Oh, shout out to those old school Topps baseball cards. That was the inspiration behind these graphics.
I really don't know, so I'm just going to throw out a name for the hell of it. I'm just going to say IKF. I know it's not him.
It is not IKF.
It's an outfielder, right?
It is an outfielder.
Still playing today.
Still playing today. It's not Chris Davis. He wouldn't be the 9-hole hitter.
I don't think he's still playing.
You know, he doesn't play. He's done.
Yeah, he's right. You're right.
Anybody in the chat? We do have a correct guess in the chat. We do have a correct guess in the chat.
How like
Seth Brown.
It is not Seth Brown. It would be funny if it was.
Another good guess. Another good
how
guess.
like
Yankee.
notable is this? Is this like a
Well, I don't want to give a hint, but you're gonna know the player when I tell you.
okay?
Oh, I just saw the chat. Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know how far down my bag 9-hole hitter some.
Tom, you also have, by the way, Tom and Corey are not K'd out in this. Just want to throw that out there.
I know the problem is we're not. I'm
one
not trying to
K.
guess a Yankee. I'm trying to guess who was hitting
Tom's
9th
got
on the
2 to
fucking
use.
8.
Seth Brown was a Yankee.
I'm just gonna take a strike looking here, and I'm gonna pass it back to Corey. I truly have no idea.
Okay.
I still got
I'll
another
give
strike. Maybe
you
Corey
okay.
inspires.
Little bit of a journeyman. Not really, I guess. 4 teams thus far in the big leagues, and he actually led the league that year in stolen bases.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like I'm being fair with these.
I know. I agree. That's a good.
I probably
that's a good
gave away
guess.
too much.
It's a tough name. It's a tough name if you're not.
Led the
Watching the
league in
highlight on
stolen bases.
Feel a little generous today.
Not him. You said I have how many strikeouts do I have left?
1. You have 1 left. You both have 1 left now,
All right.
except for Joe. Joe's K'd up.
Led the league in stolen bases. Now he's long retired at that point. I'm just gonna have to throw out a name. Billy Hamilton.
Not Billy Hamilton. Tom?
I don't think I got it. I don't think I got a name.
No.
No.
Taking the backwards.
I don't. Yeah. I knew when you asked the question, I knew Stanton right after Rip, and I knew the 4 perfect games, and this is just your poorly designed game, just screwing me.
The correct answer is Asturi Ruiz.
I would have never got
Ruiz.
it. Never got
Out to the chat. Got it right. Name that Hector and Jacob all said Asturi Ruiz. So there you go. Led the league in stolen bases 2023. Had 67. So, like I said, I'm always being fair with some of the guesses here, some of the hints, but it is what it is. We'll talk about formatting, Thomas. It's all good. After all that, Joe gained 2 points. Tom gained a point. Corey gained 2 points, and I gained a point. So we all kind of got points out of it. We all kind of leveled out a little bit. So we'll get into it next week. Our next game is going to be lineup card, but that will be on episode number 161. And before we get into the New York Strike Exchange, Joseph, let's talk about the Tube.
Yes, we are live on X, but YouTube is our preferred platform. Why we can interact with you, the chat, here on the show. So go over to YouTube, type in Empire State of Baseball, join our over 560 plus subscribers. I think we're almost on 570. And join the Crosstown conversation over there. Don't forget our schedule. We are live here on Empire State of Baseball Monday nights. We got Sierra hosting the clubhouse on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And then we got Keith, myself, Corey, Phil on a rotational basis on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock as well. So we got not full slate, but we're pretty active here on YouTube week in and week out. So don't forget to go over there and subscribe and get your baseball fix on.
You heard the man. Give us a follow and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. But it's now time we get into the New York Strike Exchange. It is time to ring that damn bell, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. It is New York Strike Exchange / our trading floor. And before we get into the values of our players here and get into how we did on the investing side, because we invested into some players before the season began, let's take a look at our Bears and Bulls over the last 4 weeks. We extended it. It was supposed to be every 3, but we were out last week. So it's the season until this point. So let's just start with the Bears. The Bears have been bad. So Corey, I'm going to throw it right back to you to talk about the 5 Bears of this month.
Yeah, there was a lot of ways we could have went with Bears, that's for sure. A lot of bad players, especially on the Mets offensive side. But we're going to start off at the bottom there. Carson Bench, the once promising Mets rookie, still could be promising, but off to a rough start for the season. 143 average, 18 Ks, only a 435 OPS. Jazz Chisholm Jr. I mean, you want to talk about a guy trying to make a case for himself in a contract year. Rich has said it a couple of times, could not have had a worse start for a guy in his contract year looking to make big money. Again, 164 average, 498 OPS, 26 strikeouts. Francisco Lindor, we spoke about him a lot on the show, and I know those average numbers a little better than the 2 at the bottom, but again, he's supposed to be the star of your team. He's been leadoff, he's been batting third, and only a 600 OPS. He didn't have his first RBI until this week on a solo home run. Outside of that, not a single RBI from the guy who's been batting third in your lineup now for a little over a week. So not acceptable there. Ryan McMahon, I mean, now we're getting into the 130s. 130 batting average, 42 OPS. And then at the top is Kodai Senga. I actually had another Mets pitcher above Senga. I had David Peterson above him. But Kodai Senga, 0-3, 8.83 ERA. He actually gave the Mets 2 winnable games, and then he gave the Mets 2 absolute lunkers. The Mets actually scored offense in the last 2 games. Senga lost, but he got absolutely obliterated in both of those outings, ballooning that ERA to 8.83. So Senga gets the top spot on our list.
Francisco Lindor, number 3 on your Bears list. I mean, over the last couple of days, you kind of had to expect as we were getting closer to this that he was going to end up on this list. Joe, you have a look on your face of shock.
He should be number 1. He should be number 1. Wow. I don't care about the average. I don't care about anything. The fact is the Mets are on an 11-game losing streak where they're averaging 1.6 runs per game. The reason Francisco Lindor has 1 RBI. One RBI. The Mets have played 22 games. 22. He has 1 RBI. You want to look for the summation of why the Mets are in the position they are? It is Francisco Lindor, who is supposed to be your pseudo captain, right? Listen, Senga sucks. I get it. But Senga pitches, he's pitched in 3 games this year or 4 games this year, whatever it's been. Lindor's played every single day. How is Lindor not number 1? I know McMahon sucks. I know Jazz sucks. I know Senga sucks, but the Mets' problem is not pitching. It is offense. Lindor is by far the worst Bear, not only because the bat stinks, he's been asleep mentally. He got picked off at third base this year. He's backing up on baseballs that are one-hot choppers to him. He is out to lunch in a fog. He is the number 1 Bear of the – I don't care what this list says. He's the number 1 Bear. He has stunk for a guy that you're – here's the other key. The rest of the guys aren't making $34 fucking million.
Joe, I've said it before. You got to get him on the
Jazz thinks he should be making 35. And look at that line. He's got 26.
How's he not number 1?
Tom, what are you gonna say?
I've said it to Joe before. The whole like you're making X amount of money is just like it's a stupid argument. But yeah, he's been bad. I'll touch on Ryan McMahon a little bit here. His glove is still very good, but I just don't think we can continue with this bad of offense out of him. And if Rosario can play third, I just think McMahon's days could be numbered there. I talked earlier with the back end of the lineup needing help with McMahon and Jazz on this list. Frankly, Wells possibly could have been on this list in other if the Mets hadn't lost 11 straight. So it's got to be better. Jazz, oh man, Jazz with the excuses, the hold, and this, I don't know.
It just seems like Jazz is just looking to get that one homer out of the way, and like that's gonna.
Oh, he's trying so hard, and he had the whole thing last year. He had the whole thing last year when he went to the mine, or not to the minors, when he was rehabbing and he was hitting he was swinging 70%, and he was better. And now it looks like he's gonna end up in another minor league stint because he's gonna hurt himself swinging so hard. It's
you can't claim you're going for 50-50 and then put up
Jazz finds I don't dislike Jazz, but he really gives people the fodder to dislike him with some of the things he says.
Corey mentioned it before, and I still stand by it. As far as a significant offensive player, this is one of the worst starts to a player's contract season that I've ever seen. Like it's really bad. It's really bad. But all right, so those are your Bears. Those are your stinky guys, as Tom likes to call them. So Tom, let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the Bulls.
Let's talk about the Bulls, and we're going to start off our Bulls with number 5, Clay Holmes. By the way, somehow the Mets have lost 11 straight, but they get 2 guys on the Bulls list. Don't know how that happened. Don't know how that voting worked out. Joe stuffing ballot boxes. Mets are the worst record in baseball, and they get 2 guys on the Bulls list. What an absolute joke. Clay Holmes, though, does take the number 5 spot. He's had a good start to the year. Has it mattered? No. Number 4, Aaron Judge. The average, not where we like to see with our favorite player, only 232, but 9 homers. His OPS, because his average is a little bit lower, isn't as high as we usually like to see from the big man, but 9 homers so far this year is something we do like to see. Number 3, Nolan McLean. Again, cool, cute. You have had a good start to the year. Doesn't matter. Team stinks. Number 2, Cam Schlittler. Heard it here first. I introduced all of you to Cam Schlittler. And he is
shit litter, by the way.
Listen, I introduced because I just didn't think you guys were ready for Schlittler, so I gave you shit litter, and he's just shit littering all over whoever he's going against. He's gonna shit litter over the Red Sox later this week. Sub 2 ERA, striking everyone out. Been incredible. And number 1, Benny Boy, Mr. Uncle Ben, hit homer in 4 straight games. He's been incredible. He's giving good at bats. He's playing better defense at first base. Ben Rice, so proud of him. I know, as a guy who has said on this show before, that I don't think he's real. I don't think it's gonna keep up, and maybe it won't. But he's looking better. So just kudos to him. I truly, again, like Rich mentioned before, the Batman to Joe's, or the Robin to Joe to Aaron's. Oh my God!
You all right? You okay?
No.
Tom, take a seat on the bench.
Ben Rice, the Robin to Judge's Batman.
God,
he's been great.
Pitiful.
And that's the list.
Beautiful host I have here.
And I'm gonna go lay down now.
Right? Yeah, you need it. Rice has been great, and I'm smiling ear to ear because 1 and 2. We'll get into why, personally, why I love what I'm seeing right here. But yeah, of course. Seeing a couple of guys that only a few years ago I was watching down at TD Bank Ballpark playing for the Somerset Patriots here at the 1 and 2 spot for the Bulls. Really cool for the New York Yankees. Pitching's been, the story for honestly both New York teams. Yes, you've had some bad performances out of guys like David Peterson, Sean Manaea, and Luis Heel in between 2 teams, but both teams right now, starting pitching is their strength. Like the pitching in New York has been really great. So I think you're going to see this not only reflected here, and this has been a longer sample size because we have 4 weeks, but when we go to a more of a 3-week format with the NYSC, you're still going to see pitchers really dominate these lists here. So that's our Bulls. Rice, Schlittler, Judge. Joe, do you have any comments on McLean and Holmes, or you calm down here?
Yeah, no, I'm all right. I had a tough time. I'll fully admit I did not have Aaron Judge in the top 5. He is leading the league in home runs, not to dispute that. The 232 average kind of threw me off with him, and it was kind of like, okay, does he deserve to be on the Bulls list at bat in 232? I actually had Will Warren on the list over Aaron Judge.
been
So
great.
I had Holmes up 1, and I had Will Warren at the 5 spot, and I had Judge at 6. So I want to give credit to Will Warren. Will Warren's been fantastic for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I want to focus on the middle of the list. Schlittler and McLean. I mean, not again. We're splitting hairs and everything, but can you be more excited than either of these two pitchers in New York? I mean, they have been phenomenal. McLean, I'll just speak from our perspective. McLean facing the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, walking in and going pitch for Yamamoto against Yamamoto the other day was fantastic. Has gotten no run support, has gotten the DeGrom treatment this year, but has looked. I mean, they're doing it completely differently. Cam is basically he's a fastball pitcher, and his break-in and off-speed stuff is an afterthought almost. He throws 3 different kinds of fastballs. McLean throws 6 different pitches, sideways, up and down, left and right. McLean, you don't know what's coming. So they're doing it differently, and which makes the two of them even more impressive when they're coming up at the same time, because you could watch Schlittler watch a particular style of pitcher, and then you can turn around watching McLean and watch a completely different style of pitcher, and both have been phenomenal this year. And they are must-watch TV every time.
They really are.
Either of them pitches.
I hope we get lucky and that's the matchup in May. I know it's too far out to know the schedule, but that'll be awesome.
I think they're about a day apart. I don't know if we'll get there, but
rain out, you never know.
I'm hoping we get both of them at Citi Field.
I will say, as much as I would love to see that, I'm sure Apple TV would also love to see that too on Friday when watch the fucking game. So just want to throw it out there. All right, look, we're going to get to the trading floor now since we're running quickly on time here. And let's take a look at the results. So again, and this is how we did this last year with the trading floor. So if you were on the bull list, it added a percentage to your total. We had a 50 base value of ESB bucks. If you're on the number 1 list, you added an extra 50% on top of it. So Rice was at the base value of 50. He added 50% to his value. So now he's at 75. And it works in the inverse as well with the Bears. So the Bears now, number 1 was Kodai Senga. He was a base value of 50. His goes down. He goes down by negative 50%. So he's at 25. We did add a value to Volpe because we had to do it. We couldn't have Volpe just be a 0. So he's now 2.5 ESB bucks. Let's go investor to investor now. Corey, we're going to start with you. You invested in Bo Bichette and Freddie Peralta. Now, luckily for you, nothing really changed on the Bear front. There's probably the argument for Bichette, Peralta as a late, but you got lucky there. Neither of them featured on the list. So they're still at their remaining value at 50. So what are you going to do here? We have the benefit of an off day, so we can choose prior to tomorrow's games with the Yankees and Mets.
Yeah, get a little lucky here. Bichette, another guy could have made the list, but there's been such a bad couple of weeks that he didn't make it. And Peralta's been okay. Again, a lot of guys worse than him, but he could have been better. I think I'm going to cut my losses. I think I'm going to sell both. Just try to switch it up a little bit. So that gives me $100 back in the pot. Let's go back to the main page real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I wish Lindor was a little lower. All right.
So Corey's back at 100. Just for everybody.
Back at 100. Okay.
And remember, you have to invest in at least 2, so you can't just throw it at Judge. That was the rule we agreed on before the season.
Yeah. Let's see. Cam is 70.
We didn't all agree to that rule.
Well,
go back to the other
most
one.
of us did. Sure.
Go back to the Bears side if you don't mind. Okay.
I'm at the ophthalmologist right now. 1 or 2? 1.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. God, yeah, some of these weak guys are just weak.
Chat, want to help him out? Who should he invest in?
Give me Soto and Vientos. Give me Soto and Vientos.
Ooh, okay.
Because I'll tell you why. Because Vientos has actually been hitting a couple of home runs lately. I'm hoping he's a couple of bucks out of him and sell them all for something better. But for right now, give me Vientos and Soto. Soto coming back. Hopefully this week. And Vientos, I'm just going to try to catch lightning in a bottle. Quick sell. Hopefully, we'll see what happens.
selling Bo and Freddie and taking on Soto and Vientos. So there you go. All right, Joe, let's go over to you. Joe, you had Cam Schlittler. So you actually gained a bit of value there. He's in the number 2 spot. Devin Williams did not move, but there might have been an argument again that Williams could have made that bearless. Joe, what are you going to do here?
Think I'm going to sell Williams. I think Williams was kind of lucky not to make the bear list, although he hasn't been as bad as people think.
So you have 50 used, but you have 10 in your bank. So you still have 50 here.
So I have 50.
Are you selling Cam? That's a question.
Go back to the Bulls and Bears. All right. Go back to the negative side. Question is,
so you have 50.
You know what?
Used.
I'm going to sell Cam.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to buy myself Aaron Judge. And I'm going to buy myself some Anthony Volpe.
Oh.
And how much does that give me? And I'm going to buy myself some Mark Vientos.
Oh. Yeah, you could do that.
So I got 3, and now Tom's screwed because Tom can't win because we both have Judge, and Tom only has Judge, and I got 3 players. So Tom.
Well, that was last year. Tom doesn't have Judge now.
Oh, I thought he had Judge.
No,
I sure should have Judge.
He doesn't.
I should have him.
So
I'm in a bad spot, Joe. I'm in a very bad spot.
So 107.5 ESB bucks.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly have enough if you're selling both Schlittler and Devin Williams. So let's real quick. 70, 40, and 10. That's 120. 120 minus 100 is 20. We're doing live math here, folks. Minus 5 is 15. Minus 2.5. That is 11.5 ESB bucks left remaining, right? Something like that. 11 or 12. I don't know. It's one of the two. I think it's 12.
Go back to that thing for a second. Let me just
250.
Sure.
What are you looking at?
I'm still window shopping, making sure. No, we're good. We're good.
Here's 120.
Okay, we're good.
All right. Corey dipped here for a second.
All
right, no big deal. What? I did the math right. I don't know why you're going crazy. All right. Anyway, let's move on. So, Joe, you got Judge, Volpe, and Vientos selling Williams and Cam. All right, let's get over to mine here. All right, my page. Look at this. Look at this. Number 1 and number 2. Ben Rice to Cam Schlittler, 75 and 70. Let's go, folks. Here, this is what I'm talking about. Rice has been incredible. Hard to kind of sell. Honestly, really hard to sell either of these guys, and I'm really just contemplating just staying put here with Rice and Cam. But I will say this. I think I'm actually going to do something a little bit crazy because I feel a little bit more confident in another starting pitcher's schedule coming up. So I'm actually going to sell Cam Schlittler, and I'm going to buy Nolan McLean, which I can absolutely do because Nolan McLean's 65. So I can bank 5 ESB bucks. I mean, it's not going to really do me much. I'm not going to go ahead and put that into Mark Vientos or Anthony Volpe. I'll just save it. But I'm going to sell Cam Schlittler for Nolan McLean only because of the strength of schedule. So I think the Mets are going to take full advantage of the schedule, and McLean's going to be a big part of it. So I'm actually going to sell Cam Schlittler for Nolan McLean here, and I'm going to keep Ben Rice. So that's what I'm going to roll with here. Thomas, let's go over to you. And you got Francisco Lindor.
We're in a bad spot. And listen,
drop the a little bit.
Rich, I think you fucked up.
How?
You should have. Well, I'm gonna say you're locked in. You should have sold Ben Rice and you should have bought McLean and had McLean and Schlittler. That was the move. But it's too late. You can't do that now. No, too late.
But I still no. But I'm still confident Ben's going to continue to keep this rolling into next. Remember, this next period's only 2 weeks. It's only 2 weeks because then we're going to resize for 3. So I think I can get away with 2 more weeks of Ben. But Tom, what do you got here?
We're in a bad spot here because Lindor absolutely blows, which has really hurt us. So I think I only really have one move. I got to sell Lindor. I got to. Because I think it's been bad, and I think he'll get better, but I can't afford him. The problem with this game is guys like Austin Wells, and if Lindor has another bad 2 weeks, when you get down low in value, even if you double your value, it doesn't really do anything. And then it's not a good spot to be. So I'm selling both.
Okay, so that gives you 79. Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to buy Cam Schlittler.
Okay.
And I'm going to buy Mark Vientos. Actually, I'm going to buy Cam Schlittler and Mark Vientos. I have 79, Schlittler for 70, 9 left. Vientos gives me 4 left.
Yeah. Nope, you can do that. So Vientos
and you know what?
I'll
pull Corey. Give me an Anthony Volpe too. Just give me a Volpe.
Sure.
Give me a little Sprinky.
Sure. Sure. All right. So I actually pulled a Joe there. So everybody's got Vientos except for your boy. I swapped out Corey while you're away. I swapped out Cam Schlittler for Nolan McLean, just basing on strength of schedule. I feel like McLean's going to be in a better driver's seat. Now, remember, this is only going to be for 2 weeks. Because when we get to the 2-week part, because last week we missed, we're supposed to do this every 3 weeks. So once we hit the 2-week mark in 2 weeks' time, we're going to go every 3 weeks with the New York Strike Exchange. So this is only going to be carrying over for the next 14 days. And then we'll revisit on May the 4th. And that's it. That is your New York Strike Exchange. The bell has closed. With you. And May the 4th be. Oh, yeah, you're right. So wait a minute, Joe. Shouldn't we take advantage of that? Shouldn't we do some Star Wars shit on that night? Should we make it Star Wars night here at ESB?
Yeah,
do a whole bunch of Star Wars stuff.
You don't want this smoke.
Oh, God, Jesus, what is that? Is that a lightsaber? Is that even PG? What is that? What are you holding right now?
That is Count Dooku's lightsaber.
Good God,
from the actual movie.
Get that off my fucking. Get that out of my show. What are we doing? I don't know what he's doing here, Pokes. I don't condone. All right, look, that's it for ESB. Before we send you home, make sure to give us a follow over on X, ESB Podcast. We'll be back on with extra innings at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us some love on some of the other great spaces that happen throughout the week. Joe kind of went running through them earlier. Bronx Take, Monday through Wednesday. Yankees there. Queens Boulevard covers the Mets. Fridays, 2 p.m. I just met the aforementioned extra innings going to be in a little bit. We also added a new show, even though this doesn't have a proper schedule, because we're going to do this for some post games now. We debuted it on Friday, went over really well, over 200 people at the space. A new post game space for the New York Yankees. It's BX2X over on ESB NYY. Christy Evis will be one of the hosts of that, and I believe Big Slick also will be another host over on BX2X.
That's gonna be
I might have to our Yankees post game space that will be featured more frequently this week. But that's it for Empire State of Baseball. Let's end this thing. Send it around the room for some goodbyes and thank yous. Tom probably going to thank anybody, so I'm just going to skip Tom. Joe, Corey, let's end this thing.
Listen.
It's not so easy when it gets thrown to you first, now is it, Joe? you fucking clown.
Listen, not many reasons to watch the Mets. Nolan McLean tomorrow is the reason to watch the Mets. Although Simon Woods Richardson revenge game. If you remember, Met fans, he is the one you traded for Marcus Stroman way back when.
True. I don't know if the Mets will win by the time we do a next show. I hope they do. But let's go Knicks, up 5 right now near the end of the second.
There you go. That's it. ESP. We'll see you next week, folks. Thank you again for joining us, all 80 plus of you. We'll see you for number 161. Have a good one. Take care.